All right, this is Clay Edwards. I am here live with country music sensation Bryan Martin. Bryan, how you doing, brother?
Man, I'm doing good, Bubba. Hanging in there like air in a biscuit.
Heck yeah, man. Where you at? Where at in the country are you right now?
Right now, I'm back in Tennessee. I just got back from Washington. We went out and played at the Walla Walla State Fair and Rodeo, and we also played a festival out. Let me think, man. It all starts running together. But
yeah, you were out. You were out on the West Coast, like the northwest area, right?
Yes, sir. We went out and played in Washington. 2 days in Washington. Like I said, we played the Walla Walla State Fair and Rodeo last, and then we got back into town. I played a charity event for WME and Cancer Foundation, and just got back in here this morning, and just glad to be on the air, bro.
Heck yeah! You know, it's funny. If you just watch the news, you wouldn't think there was any country music fans out there on the left coast. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of them, man. We had probably, I want to say we had about 1,000 or so show up after the rodeo. There was about 5,000 or 6,000 during the rodeo over there, and it was awesome. I got to go out there and judge some mutton busting and give some kids a belt buckle and a $20 bill and tell them dust it off.
Hey, so speaking of rodeos, I've been following you on social media and stuff. Is that your thing? Are you into rodeoing, or have you rodeoed?
Yeah, I used to when I was younger. When I was around 13 years old, I went into bull riding, and I used to work in the hay fields and doctor cows for the little farm down the road. And, you know, whatever, mow the grass, whatever they needed me to do, man. You know, I used to feed the fighting chickens back when they were cool. You know.
Yeah.
But I just always stayed a chain link away, man. I had to stay a chain link away.
Well, man, it's cool that you, and I see you're playing the NFR in Vegas here at
yes,
here in December. That's awesome. I've always wanted to go to that. When during COVID, when they kind of shut Vegas down and they moved it to Dallas, I came real close to going. I guess coulda, woulda, shoulda, but super cool there. I mean, it was as a cowboy or whatnot. That's got to be cool to get to play that event. I mean, that's your audience. I mean, that's your definitely your demographic.
Man, that was you know, because I rode for a while when I had priorities in the job come up. I had to kind of let it go. I got hurt a couple times, and I wasn't winning a whole lot of money. So it was like I wasn't the best, but you know, I didn't give myself enough time. I think I could have been if I'd have kept getting kicked in the liver and you know. But I just think that it's one of those deals where they asked me to come do the anthem this year. When I during the anthem slot this year at the NFR, we're also playing two dates, the 8th and the 9th. Instead of doing the anthem at the anthem slot, they asked us to kick off the rodeo where we ride. You know, crazy, you know, to think that they, you know, I'm getting to do an original song to kick off the NFR. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, for those that don't know that maybe listen to this, NFR is National Finals Rodeo. It's where the real cowboys go and do the dang thing up there with the bulls.
It is, man. I was out there with, like I said, at the Walla Walla State Fair in Rodeo. They had the PRCA out there, and they had all them boys out there and girls and barrel racers. And top of the line, man, it's literally all those same guys that were riding out there are going to be riding at the NFR. And it was cool to meet some of those guys. And I met Derek. He's a bull rider out there, but he's going through a neck injury right now. He's trying to recover. He just got through a real bad wreck not long ago on a bull, and so I'm just kind of cool to get to know these guys and for them to be listening to my music and to see all these PBR riders and bronc riders and rodeo hands using my song on their social media. It's just so cool to me because I'm a fan, you know.
Absolutely, man. We went. You know, we got the Dixie National Rodeo here. I'm in Jackson, Mississippi, by the way, or right outside Jackson in the suburbs. And you know, we got the Dixie Nationals here. So this year, I got to see J.D. Money. I think I'm saying his last name right.
Man.
For the, you know, didn't even know he was there. And you know, if you ever log on to TikTok, you hear it. He's a $7 million bull rider, J.D. Money. And man, I heard his name. My girlfriend, she freaks out. She rodeoed her whole life. She's like, it's J.D. Money. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. And of course, he was the only one that rode his whole ride that night. So it was just cool to get to see that.
Awesome. He he's got it down pat, man. He's kind of like got the if there was ever like a, if there was ever a sport he was meant for, it's bull riding.
he's about that life, as they say.
He is, man. I think he eats, sleeps, and breathes it about like I do music.
Absolutely. Well, it's cool, man, that we got a real cowboy performing country music still, because I'll be honest, a lot of the stuff coming out of Nashville right now, and not to put you on the spot or anything, but it ain't real cowboys playing country music too much anymore. So it's nice to know that we still got somebody doing it.
And, and my thing is like, I grew, my grandpa was adopted out in San Antonio, and my daddy and all my family from Texas. So I was born on the Louisiana state line, and I still, so they always, I'm part Native American too. And so I wrote a song called The Cowboy and His Indian, because my mama's side of the family, they all started Old Spanish Trail Ride, and, from Joaquin, Texas, all the way out to, the Houston Rodeo. And they, my Uncle Wayne, he built, them wagons till the day he died. And, it was just it was real cool growing up, and I was always a little Indian. I ain't like you. So it's like, hey, if you won't ride it, little Indian will. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's the way we grew up, and we grew up. I never took it any other way than what it was, and I had a lot of cowboy in me, and so I actually wrote a song, and that's what kind of got me linked up with Cody Jinks here recently. Was I wrote a song called "The Cowboy and His Indian," and we wound up getting together and writing like 4 more songs that's going on his new record, and he wound up not choosing the one that we originally was going to go with Cowboy and His Indian, but I think he knows that it's personal enough to me that I'm going to probably put it on my record, and it's going to be something different for everyone. I think this whole album is going to be a little bit of a difference than what we've heard in the past, because I'm bringing out some of my blues roots. The We Ride brought out a little bit of it, but I'm bringing out some of my blues roots. I'm bringing out some of my old school cowboy roots with some of those old sing-along cowboy songs, and I've been just writing with some of the greatest writers up here, Scott Shine White and Helene Cronin and Ben Roberts and all these guys they've been so welcoming to me. And as a guy who spent most of his time in the oil fields in West Texas, I just come home and wrote by myself. So now to be able to do the co-writing thing and for people to accept me up here the way they have, it just means a lot, man, because it's a hard game to play, and I'm just glad that it's never turned into a game yet.
Yeah, I've heard Jelly Roll talk about that here lately too, about getting in the room and getting to co-write with some of these folks, and what an opportunity that is to go from doing your own thing for so long and just being a one-man army to getting into a room with some of these biggest songwriters and just hit makers. That's got to be a great deal there. You mentioned Cody Jinks. I mean, I think he kind of kick-started this what I call modern outlaw revolution that we're in. Him, Whiskey Myers. I don't even know if I want to call it country. It's more southern rock to me sometimes.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to call it.
Whiskey Myers, man. And Charlie Crockett. Man, I like Charlie Crockett. I don't know if you ever listened to him, man, but Charlie Crockett, he's kind of got that mix between Texas and Louisiana. He's even got some of that New Orleans jazz and his stuff, man. It's just crazy because people just want to hear real and they want to hear different. And I think that taking that risk, some of these writers in town, they get stuck in some rooms where they're punching out the same old all day every day. So when people like me and Jelly and Cody and everybody gets to come to town and they accept us for who we are, and we get to write on those lines and step outside of the box. It really means a lot for me, and I think it helps, in a way for some of the writers in town to kind of step outside of their own box and not get so, I think you can get complacent on some things. And, I'm definitely one that if I'm feeling it a certain way, I'm writing it that way. And I really don't care if somebody, steps up to me and goes, well, that don't sound like one of your old songs. And I go, well, if I'm feeling a certain way and I filter myself to make it sound a certain way at all the time, then you don't have the Cody Jinks. You don't have the Jelly Rolls. You don't have the guys like us, because it becomes a trend. and then when it becomes a trend, you're just blending in.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you can almost stay too authentic to what got you there. And you need to spread your roots out. You need to do what you're feeling. I mean, look, I started out as doing urban exploration videos, and during COVID, I turned the camera around on me and started ranting, and it led to a radio show and a big podcast, just all the things I do now, because I didn't stick to what I was doing. I didn't just, do what everybody told me I should do. So I respect the hell out of that.
That's what makes you an original, man. And I think that's the thing that people need to understand is, like, you think about the Outlaws, Waylon Jennings and Willie Nelson and all those guys, they were original. And, they wasn't considered country back then, but neither was, anybody when they stepped outside the box and done their own thing. But I think it's just that blend of real lyrics and real music that's brought this genre back to where it's at now. Look at Oliver Anthony, man, just blowing up out of nowhere and taking over the whole world, man.
I was just to bring him up when you said, being original. I mean, just out of nowhere. I mean, the quickest rise. I'm 46, Bryan, and that's the quickest rise literal overnight sensation that I think we've ever seen. I think that we'll ever see again. It was just there was a TV show on History Channel called Man Moment Machine, where everything lines up just right for a great invention, and it was Man Moment Machine for him. It's just the way the country feels about everything and the situation we're in, and then boom, man, working
he's up to like 8.3 million monthly listeners since like August 11th.
He ain't going away. He ain't going away.
He ain't going away, man. I think he's starting to accept it too. I've seen him go on the Joe Rogan show, and I think he's starting to accept it. Look, you got a purpose here, man. Like, don't get me wrong. You can hate money and still play music. I don't think he will for long, because I think he's going to realize, like, right now with his success, he's going to have to keep that head right. I think we all do when we kind of see some success. We always got to keep our head right and stay authentic and don't let it change us, because it can. I've seen it do it to so many people, and that's one reason it scared me so much about coming and doing it full time, because I never wanted it to change me, and I never wanted it to dictate how I was speaking from my heart and how I did my craft. But I also got a little bit to the point to where maybe I was a little bitter there for a while, and I was writing sad songs. I wasn't even on that sad until I had to live the songs that I wrote. And I realized then, from now on, it's going to project forward. It's going to project me forward for my family and my babies and and for the listeners, because if the songs ain't moving forward and it's not giving them my direction of where I'm going, then all I'm doing is holding them back, and I don't ever want to hold anybody back.
Yeah, look, man, I got fired from my day job last week just because I guess I put too much attention into this entertainment side of things, the media, the radio, and all that. And I was like, you know what? Good. It's an opportunity. Yeah. It's an opportunity to go all in and find out if I can do it or not. I got the rest of my life to work my finger to the bones. I'm gonna go for broke here, and
go for broke, man. That's what I did with the oil field, man. 2 years ago, I was in a 78 single wide trailer and trying to put my life back together, and had to leave that steady paycheck. And it was a struggle for the first year, but it still is a struggle mentally sometimes. I think even when things start flowing the right way, with streams and everything, there's a lot of overhead if you want to build the business, you got to keep reinvesting pretty much almost anything you make right back into it. And it's almost like playing a game. You don't know if you're going to win or not, because it's not a guaranteed schedule. It's not a guaranteed check, but that you gave everything you got to make it to this point and to have it to invest into it. So you just got to keep investing into it and know that no matter what, if it all flops tomorrow, I'm leaving behind a legacy and a song that is going to, push me forward in the future.
Amen, brother. Well, look, real quick, man, I want to congratulate you. I want to congratulate you on the Grand Ole Opry and the Louisiana Grandstand. The Louisiana Grandstand, I mean, you're from Shreveport, Bossier City. That's the same folks that do the Louisiana Hayride, right?
Oh, yes, sir. It was, I'm originally from just south of Shreveport, so that was the closest big town we had. I was born in Shreveport at the hospital there. So was Hank Jr. That's Hank Williams had a house there whenever Hank was born. He was playing the hayride. My mama played the hayride, and so it's always I've been kind of put on the spot since I was 4 or 5 years old to sing, and to get to do the opera and to have my mom there, that meant a lot. As soon as I told her I had the opera, she said, "Well, now you gotta win a CMA award." So I knew it was gonna be something new. I knew
keep moving the goalpost.
You got to keep moving the goalpost. But as long as that keeps us moving, man, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna keep moving, and whether I make it to that next goal or not, I just hope she knows that I did it. I did it because I knew that she'd given up a lot to she had 7 miscarriages before I came along, and she's been through a lot of stuff. So I think that's been my goal my whole life, is just to get up when I knew she couldn't.
Well, man, that's good stuff, brother. We love our mamas, that's for sure. I wouldn't be where I'm at without mine. I've been blessed, very blessed in that sense. All right, look, yes, I know you ain't got a lot of time. I want to close with this, man, real quick. Fafo, right. That's my thing. I want to thank you for that song. And I was doing a little research, and I see that was recorded in Mississippi. The video was done in Mississippi.
It was. It was done in Woodland.
That's good stuff there, man.
Right there at the dadgummit.
It was a 4-wheeler park, right? Yeah.
Mudslingers 4-wheeler park. We had a crowd of about 800 that night for the release video. That was awesome. That was back before I could draw 50.
Yeah.
So I think it's just been amazing and I miss Mississippi, man. I used to go down through there and back when in my younger days, I played in back in 2012. I played with Jeff Bateson at the what is it, Redneck Fest they got down there in Purvis.
Maybe so. My buddy Buck Allman was his tour manager for a while, and Buck runs Marty Stewart's Congress of Country Music or whatever it's called up here in Philadelphia, Mississippi. Good folks, man.
I gotta talk to Jeff, man, because he gave me the wrong email or something when he gave me that email back in 2012, because I never could get out.
with Buck.
No, I was talking about Jeff.
Jeff.
We were doing the ministry at the time, and I went down to Poplarville. Yeah, I did some cowboy ministry down there with my good friends Jeff Easton, and we went around to different cowboy churches around there. Man, that was my foundation back in the day, was just going around doing cowboy ministry in cell barns or anywhere else I could go. And I learned that I could do just as much, ministry, if you want to call it that, by just telling the truth outside in the real world and just telling it like it is, and move people forward towards their own purpose and letting them see it in the lyrics.
Well, look, man, I'm the same way, and I think that I think real recognize real. The second I heard you, you know when something's fake, and you, especially as you get older, you know when something's real. And the minute I heard, and I know Fafo is a good fun song, man. My whole thing is effed around, found out. I mean, that's kind of where I got my following from on the internet, and it's the whole thing on my radio show. We highlight people who F around and find out, but we try to do a lot of good ministry stuff too. Like I don't know when I'll air this. It could be tomorrow, it could be Friday, but I've got some guys coming in that are throwing a recovery fest. I support that 1,000,000%. They're going, I still like to enjoy a cold beer, but people who are battling their addictions, who have overcome their addictions, beer wasn't my struggle. My struggle was drugs. So
mine too, bro.
So I try to get back and preach to choir, and I think everybody's rock bottom is different. That's why I like letting everybody tell their story, give their testimony, because the old saying, if it just changes one person, that one story may connect with that one person different than it connects with that person. Like I say, everybody's rock bottom's different, and it's good to let people talk about it.
Mine was a bottle of pills and a misfired 357, and I took 30 Percocets and misfired a 357 right after getting back from the military, and they were going to give me a waiver to go back, and I fought them tooth and nail and said, well, why don't we just wait 6 months in here, and then you send me the waiver right here, hand it to me. And because I had a medical issue that the recruiter left out, and I didn't want to go back home. I was running from drugs to go there. So,
yeah.
So I went back home, and I didn't want I didn't want to be home. I just wanted to go do something good with my life. And, you know, I will say this: military's not the best rehab center to go to, but you know, it was an adventure, man. And I still pray for the guys I was with out there. But when I came home and that gun misfired and I took those pills, 6 months later when I did get my waiver, I'd already got I met somebody the next day after that gun misfired. Just now with the mother of my 4 kids, and we've been together for 15 years. And let's just say I decided not to go back.
Man, that's a hell of a testimony right there, brother.
But you know, God's been good, man. I've had relapses, and she stuck with me and she helped me through them. And sometimes, you know, I got 4 babies, so it seemed like every time I thought I was going to hit that self-destruct button, I'd have another baby, and I go, okay, here's one more reason to keep myself clean, you know.
Well, those 4 ought to keep you busy enough now that you don't have to have another one to stay clean.
Oh, they keep me busy, man. They're getting expensive. You know, inflation ain't nothing compared to a key.
No,
so,
not at all, man.
But yeah.
We need to get back together and have a good. I'd like to really to sit down with you sometime, man, and talk about your testimony and stuff. That's a big story there that we can't cover in 5 minutes for sure. Because I think we can touch some folks with that, man.
I should be coming back through Mississippi before too long.
Yeah, when you do, man, remember, I don't think it's country radio talking to Bryan Martin today. It's talk radio, so please don't forget us, man. I'm
not going to forget you, Bub. And like I said, I like real people, like you said. I real recognize real, and I can tell I'm talking to somebody real, and that means something to me, and it'll always stick with me. And I appreciate you. And WYAB, right?
That's it. WYAB. Hey, real quick, before we just closing here, how can people find you? What's the new single? Promote yourself. Where are you playing this weekend?
Well, the new single out right now is going. The new single out right now is Going for Broke, and that's the one. It's been out for a little bit now, but we got some other ones geared up, and we're looking at, you know, we got like 6 on the back pocket, getting ready to pick one right now for the next one. And then if anybody wants to find me, it's just Bryan Martin. If you go on Facebook, it's Bryan Martin Music. If you go on Instagram, and it's I haven't been on TikTok in a while, but there's Bryan Martin Music on TikTok.
And it's BRYAN. Just
yes, sir, BRYAN. And Bryan Martin Official, BRYAN, martinofficial.com. That's got all my tour dates and all my merch, the online merch and stuff that you can't get at the shows. And but if you got the tour dates, you can come out there and see us on the road, man. We got a lot coming up, and we got some pretty big news coming for next year. So everybody stay tuned.
Well, look, congratulations, brother. Thank you for taking the time today. My power was out when I got home. We had to push this back 30 minutes. It all worked out. Here we are with a good 30-minute conversation with Bryan Martin. Bryan, thank you for your music. Thank you for FAFO. That's how I found you. It's always good seeing our Southern boys representing out there, whether it's Louisiana, Texas, Mississippi. Yeah, I consider Texas the South. I'm that guy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know, we sound the same over there that they do over here.
Yes, sir. Hey,
right,
man, I appreciate you, Bubba. And like I said, we're going to catch a cold beer and a conversation when I come through Mississippi.
Absolutely, man. I'll be following you. Bryan, stay safe, stay blessed, man, and best of luck with everything you do.
You too, Bubba. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, I want to thank Bryan Martin for that interview. It wasn't supposed to be but about 10 minutes, but, you know, once 2 old dogs get to talking, no telling how long it can go. I could have talked to him for another hour. I get fired up, man. Sometimes I overtalk people. I know I was doing it there, man. I'm just fired up, wanted to get mine in. Like he had me going, man. That's good stuff. We got a real cowboy playing real music. Go find it. FAFO is the F'd around and found out song. But that's just to get you in the door. Man, he's got some real country music, like Going for Broke. Go listen to it. That's Bryan Martin, BRYAN. West Louisiana's very own Bryan Martin. Hopefully we'll see him here in Central Mississippi soon. Y'all stay blessed. Be sure to listen to the Clay Edwards Show every Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. right there on 103.9 FM WYAB. We don't play music, but we talk to music stars. Stay safe. Peace.